Hi guys, thanks for tuning this episode of the Nick Egan Times. On this episode, we have an awesome guest. We have Isabella James. Baby girl Bella is one of the adult top earners, thanks to her bubbly blonde personality, stunning 5'1" build. Isabella knows how to get her fans going thanks to her solo, lesbian, and boy girl content that she has attracted to so many followers that she currently is in now, the 0.1% of all content creators on OnlyFans platform. She claims everything happens for a reason. No, it didn't. I wouldn't have the past that I have, such a beautiful present and the future ahead. Isabella is a true vegan and she loves those roots. Welcome, Isabella, and thanks for coming on my podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me, Nick.
How's it all going over there?
It's beautiful. It just turned fall here. I know it's different on your side of the world, but it's spring there, isn't it?
It is. It just literally turned spring early this month. So, yeah, it's exciting. It's coming into summer too.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same vibe. I feel like spring and fall both have the same cool energy.
Yeah, 100%. Tell me about the pandemic and how that's affected you since it's begun.
So people hate to hear this, but I've been thriving since the pandemic happened.
Okay.
And a lot of people obviously are not, and is still causing issues. I would think not so much now since it's subsided a bit. But in general, people who work from home and online creators really were given the opportunity to shine. Me being one of them. I had started doing content obviously before the pandemic, but there was a huge influx of customers and all of that, and we see that kind of like trickling down now. But it was also the summer. But I'm very feeling positive for the winter, for everyone to get horny and cold and go back inside and come to my site. to everyone's site.
Sounds good. All right, let's just jump straight into it. Tell me about your life, how it's all, your journey so far. So where you grew up, your family, all those kind of things.
So I was born in Wisconsin, which is a Midwest state in the United States. Just, very, very basic. And then I moved to Virginia for a year, not relevant really, I guess, since it's in the story. But then I moved to Arizona, which is another state. I lived there most of my life. I moved to California about a year ago. And I have had an interesting life for sure. But for like the last almost 3 years now, it's been like really like quiet and awesome. I guess like making porn for a living, people wouldn't call really quiet, but to me it is. To me, I'm like, this is easy going, and that's because I chose those pathways in my life. I decided that I didn't want to live like I used to like party and just like hang out with like the wrong type of people. And that's actually one thing that I could say that, sex work like really just helped me like get back to myself. It wasn't like I started it and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I need to change my life. That's not what happened at all, obviously. But it allowed me to become who I am today and closer to my true self. Instead of, I always am like, I'm not trying to get esoteric, but I always get esoteric, more from our like traumatized self. Like I used to be just like more of a depressed person. And I guess I kind of was always bubbly, but like how compared to how I am now, like just totally different life. I drank all the time and just had some like really interesting situations happen. But now, you know what? I work and I go hiking and I hang out with my cat and I work out and I enjoy what some would consider the boring things in life. That's my jam. But then I also am naked on the internet. So, we are all we're all multifaceted beings that are able to do and be all of the things, like legitimately the first hour every morning, give it 30 minutes to an hour every morning. I'm meditating, same thing before bed, and doing all these things but then pay for your porn. So it's awesome. I'm vegan. I know that my implants are not vegan. So like, I get it. And that's what I love, because my job is kind of like customer service, that I'm able to see people from all different angles. We're all coming from the best place we can at the time. So, I I just love everybody. There you go. There's my there's my life story. I love life and life loves me back. So
Yeah, amazing. Do you get shy or nervous when you're putting obviously your body on the internet and OnlyFans and they see that? Do you feel awkward or uncomfortable ever from that?
no, honestly. And years ago when I first started doing anything adult, so yeah, before that, um, I had like a job. I had a job at like a sandwich place. I had like I was a nanny as a personal assistant. I worked at like a couple call centers. So like nothing and like food places, like nothing crazy. Um, and then I did one like kind of studio porn, and everyone's gonna wish that they can find it. Haha, guess what? It's a different name. Um I did that years ago. I look so different. I did that, and then I did a little, like I did some like a handful of days on cam, and then I was a dancer for a while, and then I got into doing camming, Snapchat, and now OnlyFans. So the reason I say all that is just because it's a progression of it. To be honest, I've always found it to come natural. Like I've not always been like wearing slutty clothes, you know, like that, but I've always just been open-minded. And I used to be like, oh, you know, stripping and all that. That's just, you know, I respect that, but it's just not for me. But what honestly had happened when I was younger is I met a guy that I started dating who was doing like gay porn, or he had done it. So it's like kind of the thing, like if you meet a friend who smokes weed, you're like, oh, maybe I could smoke weed too, you know? It's the same concept. But actual cool reflection question, because like no, I really I really don't. Like I feel more shy one-on-one with people, and I think a lot of girls, okay, I wouldn't say shy, just more nervous. I spoke at a retreat earlier this year, another model through, and it was like a lot of more like what is it, like amateur girls that like weren't, you know, haven't been in the business that long, and it was really cool to like coach them and everything. And I knew what I was talking about, like I felt good, but I was still so nervous. But with that, like I'm still so talkative and everything. But a lot of girls there I know struggle to like socially interact with each other, because it's like, oh, you're naked on the internet, but it's different when you're like in person, you know. But like I said, I used to dance and all of that. I've had sugar daddies, so it's just the internet.
What's some of the funniest stories or the best stories that you can recall that's happened so far in your career doing this?
Honestly, they always go back to guys that are usually interested in things that are, you know, a little bit different than the average Joe. So I want to go back to when I first started. I started doing femdom, which, if you don't know, is female domination. So these guys are just really into being like humiliated, you know, possibly like tortured, you know, just like submissive things. But it's always crazier than that, you know, like. But like I always say, like my best come up of like one person is this guy that I met him on cam, and he always would just want to like worship my feet. He would want to do it before work. And then just like one time we connected, and we Skyped, obviously, and for 3 hours, and the whole time he was buying me shoes on Amazon, and I was just like smoking weed and just like degrading him and like talking all this shit to him. And I got like altogether between like $1,500 and $2,000 for just chilling, you know. Like it's great, because I know that I fulfilled something that guy was wanting. But then like he stopped talking to me. Like a lot of guys do, even guys that aren't into weird things, they feel very shameful and like guilty of, you know, probably spending the money, or just the fact they probably don't feel comfortable with themselves that they are like paying for that attention, which obviously I completely support happening. But also on the flip side of things, I just feel like men shouldn't feel embarrassed for knowing what they want, because a lot of the men that have sugar babies, that get prostitutes, that you know, possibly would be on OnlyFans as well, are men that are just super busy and just don't have time to go and get that like organic interaction. So it's like, fuck it, you know, like just pay for what you want.
No, that's really insightful, and yeah, definitely thanks, Janet. Do you have like any mentors in what you do? Do you have people that like obviously help you and support you and really get it set up and get all these things going for you?
No.
That's pretty cool that it's managed by yourself and you do it solely by yourself too.
Yeah, so that's funny though, because I had someone about 2 weeks ago ask me if I had any mentors. So I feel like that's a push into me. Like I need to get a mentor. I have like a spiritual mentor, but I don't have any work mentors. I'm the mentor myself. I run like a very small group called High Vibe Hotties, and I also started coaching. But it's just I have like for the last like 2 years, I've been like I really want to help other girls in my industry because like, first of all, I was there and like now I'm here doing it, but I'm like really happy and like I don't have anxiety and like I don't, feel like I need to be messed up all the time and stuff like that. And other girls don't have that. And I just want to help them thrive in their business as well and know that they can use their business as a form of self-love and they can also use it to like heal their trauma. That's something I want to say too, is that sex work, I know no one, me defending sex work, no one asked, but it's also a lot of women find it very like emotionally healing of, past trauma, whether sexual or not, to be able to be in the power role where I have control of everything that's going on in my space. Like I don't do studio porn for that reason, because the reason that I enjoy what I do is because I am in control of it. It's my content. I know who I can choose who I want to fuck, what we're gonna do. Obviously collaboration, but it's not like someone else's world, and like that's what I love about the different subscription platforms as well. Is it's our territory. It's like what we want to do. Obviously, there are some restrictions, that they don't want us to do, but just in general, it's like whatever we're comfortable with, whatever we can do, we can put it out there. So.
That's great. Where do you see the porn industry headed? So obviously OnlyFans and these kind of platforms. What else is coming up, or where else do you believe it's headed?
That's a good question. I feel like the subscription sites have still not hit their peak. It is like it's like a completely like just change for the industry, and not even just art industry. The content, celebrities, all the creators industry in general. So, after that, I don't know. That's interesting. I think a lot more things will be done with like VR type of things and, stuff with like crypto and all of that really being integrated more into the industry. But for like the next big thing, I still think it's the subscription sites.
All right, that's really cool. Tell me about your vegan lifestyle too. How specifically did that come about?
Okay, so I went vegetarian when I was 14. And then however many years. I've been vegan 6 years now. I've been raw vegan 2 years. And honestly, I don't like the idea of any of it. Like I'm totally one of those people that I'm like, do whatever you want to do, But personally, like the idea of eating meat and now dairy, especially, is just not, it grosses me out. But the whole raw vegan thing is that I believe that everything has a vibrational frequency, and like certain, obviously certain anything has a vibrational frequency, and foods have different frequencies, and when you cook it like lowers that frequency. So I'm just trying to be like in the best mood, like most high like vibrational. So that's actually why I started eating raw vegan 2 years ago, and then I feel great with it. So I've had like quinoa once and like some hummus once that wasn't raw, but I was like, I didn't even enjoy it to the factor I'd be like, oh, maybe I'll have that once in a while. I'm like, just give me some fruit and let's call it a day.
Awesome. If you were 18 again and you could go back in time and you could change anything, what would you change?
I wouldn't change anything. Everything has its purpose in life, and even things that people deem, super negative, such as the pandemic, there's always the contrast of that, where it was, you know, it's been positive for a lot of people as well. So I would leave everything exactly how it is.
Awesome. And what does the future look like for Isabella? What are you planning on? Where are you headed?
Always thriving. A lot more new content. I just recently got my boobs redone for the 3rd time, so they're still healing. So just doing that. But I just started my own site, no subscription or anything like that, but just a general place to find me. ineedbella.com. So just working on making that look even better and still creating content. I will be going to Vegas next month to collaborate with some girls, and just TikToks, you know, just putting out the content people want to see.
Wonderful. Isabella, thanks for coming on my podcast. I do appreciate it. I wish you all the best with everything you're doing. You know, you're doing amazing things, especially in your industry, and you should be proud of yourself. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Bye.